I was about to set off on a vacation with my friends, using your card when Liam suddenly gave me a call. I had been observing his late returns home and his secretive conversations with Margaret, which had struck me as odd. Was he concocting some sort of plan with her from the start? I had my suspicions that they were collaborating on a scheme, but fortunately I was ready for whatever they had in store. Perhaps I should feign shock when I confront him. "Oh, really? Explain." Although I was well aware that Liam had planned to leave for a trip today, it's astonishing if he thinks he can deceive me. Until now, I've maintained my composure, but today my patience wore thin, and I felt a strong desire to retaliate. It's time to stand up to these infuriating siblings. Once today is behind us, I expect the truth will come out. I hope they enjoy their trip, oblivious to the fact that I have an ally within their group. My name is Ashley, and at 35, I live with my husband, Liam. After graduating high school, I immediately began working at my current company. Over the years, I've gained significant experience and earned several certifications, securing a leadership role at the young age of 20. Despite being younger than Liam, I am his boss at work. I trained him along with 2 others after he joined the company. Despite our close ages, I quickly became his supervisor. We began dating, and after moving in together, our relationship followed a typical trajectory. However, after we got engaged, Liam suggested I become a stay-at-home wife, envisioning a future where I managed household affairs and we started a family soon. I voiced my concerns regarding our finances and my reluctance to quit my job, even after having children. Although I understood his desire to purchase a home, it irked me that he was uneasy about my higher income. I proposed a compromise. Let's focus on managing our wedding and buying a house for now, and decide on children and my job later. We agreed to proceed with that plan. Truthfully, I had no intention of leaving my job, but I proposed the idea to preempt Liam's persistent suggestions as our wedding approached. Our engagement celebration brought both families together, though Liam's sister Margaret was absent because she was traveling. I met her for the first time on our wedding day. She barged into the waiting room, gave me a quick once-over, and remarked, "So this is who Liam chose? A bit plain compared to his past choices, huh?" I mustered a smile and responded, "Nice to meet you, Margaret," but she just waved dismissively and left, leaving me to process her bold demeanor. It turned out my new sister-in-law was quite the character. Later, I introduced myself to Margaret's husband, who seemed genuinely nice. The wedding ceremony itself was lovely, and afterward, Liam and I were excited to start our lives in the new home we had chosen together. With a busy schedule anticipated, I dedicated more energy to my work. On what seemed like a typical day off, the doorbell rang. Busy inside, I let Liam answer it. He returned to the room, chatting and laughing. It was Margaret dropping by unexpectedly. She breezed in with a comment. "Hey there, Ashley. Liam's doing quite well, huh? Owning such a big house. Good for him, after all, he's my little brother." She then turned to me. "I've been working hard. Make yourself at home, Ashley. Don't we have some snacks or something? My sister's here, so hurry up." Something in Liam's demeanor shifted. He started acting superior, probably boasting to his sister that he had bought the house on his own. Although I had contributed to the down payment and was equally responsible for the mortgage payments, Liam insisted on having his name solely on the title. At that moment, it didn't seem important whose name was on the paperwork, but the way he portrayed it to Margaret irked me. Choosing to keep the peace, I refrained from making a scene and calmly offered, "Here are some snacks. Liam works hard, you know." "Why does Ashley sound so bossy?" Margaret whispered to Liam. I overheard and couldn't help but retort, "Well, I am Liam's supervisor at work. Oh, did I not mention that?" When I first joined the company, Ashley was already a manager. She had started her career immediately after high school, choosing to drop out to pursue work opportunities. I remember thinking to myself, if it had been me, I would have surpassed her achievements in no time. However, this thought led to a rather uncomfortable conversation one day. "You dropped out of high school?" I asked somewhat incredulously. "You seem so competent, yet I have more formal education than you." "It's true," she responded calmly. But remember, I'm your sister-in-law, and since you didn't finish school, I suppose I could ask you for anything, right? That remark struck me as odd. Is that really how it works? I wondered aloud. Ashley continued. According to my sister, what she says goes. If you don't agree, she might just kick you out. I was baffled by this logic. The idea that someone could demand anything from me just because I lacked a high school diploma seemed absurd, and the threat of being kicked out was just nonsensical. I managed to muster a polite smile and excused myself to the kitchen to avoid further awkwardness. From the kitchen, I could still hear their serious tones discussing the same topic. Shortly after, my sister-in-law followed me into the kitchen, her demeanor shifting to something more serious. Hey, Ashley, I need a favor, she said casually. I need to borrow some money, about $7,100. Can you help? $7,100, that's quite a bit, I replied, surprised. What do you need it for? It's just $7,100. You're a supervisor, right? You must have a good salary, she brushed off my concern. I need it for some remaining renovation costs on my new condo. Just days earlier, she had been boasting about her luxurious new condo. Now she was asking for money? Liam then chimed in from behind, suggesting that I should just hand over the money as he planned to lend it to his sister Margaret. Why would you decide that without consulting me first? I asked, taken aback. Listen, Ashley, either give me the money or I'll call our boss right now and say you want to quit. Which will it be? Resigned but cautious, I agreed, but on one condition. All right, Margaret, I'll lend you the money, but we need to draw up a promissory note. Even though we're family, I want it in writing. When you come to collect the money, make sure to bring your ID with a picture. Oh, such a hassle, she complained. But fine if you're going to give me the money. I'll be over tomorrow night. Despite her grumbling, Margaret did bring everything required the next day. Although I had never realized how much Liam was influenced by his sister until we got married, this experience underscored it vividly. No matter what I said, it seemed it wouldn't have made a difference. Later on, I discovered that Margaret used the money to buy designer items. Once she saw I was willing to lend money, she began to ask for more, though I made sure she signed a promissory note every single time. Over time, Margaret had borrowed around $15,000 from me. Just as I was starting to feel overwhelmed by the financial strain, an unexpected call from the office brought a much-needed lift to my spirits. I was being promoted from a supervisor to a department manager. Thrilled with the news, I couldn't wait to share it with Liam, who had taken the day off. I'm home, Liam! Guess what? I exclaimed, bursting with excitement. Welcome back, Ashley. You seem excited. What happened today? Liam responded, noticing my enthusiasm. My boss called me in and offered me the position of department manager. I've always dreamed of becoming the head manager, and this promotion brings me one step closer. Wait, what? Ashley, you're getting promoted? I don't understand. Did you accept the offer? Of course I did. I've always told you about my goal, remember? I replied, slightly puzzled by his reaction. Hold on, you should have asked for my permission before making such a decision. Plus, I've told you I wanted you to be a stay-at-home wife, haven't I? How come you're getting promoted and I'm still stuck in the same position? Doesn't that seem odd? That's not my fault, Liam. I've made it clear that I don't want to quit my job. Why you can't get promoted is beyond me. Shortly after our exchange, Liam made a phone call, and I had a sinking feeling he was speaking to his sister. Sure enough, Margaret showed up a few minutes later. Hey, I heard you stole Liam's promotion opportunity. What's the big idea? She accused as soon as she walked in. I didn't steal anything. At our company, promotions are based on performance. I defended myself. So you're saying Liam's incompetent at his job? How dare you look down on him as his wife? This is ridiculous. Let's go grab some barbecue on her dime, Margaret snapped, her tone dripping with disdain. Before I could protest, they rummaged through my purse and took my bank card, and despite my attempts to resist, I was outnumbered and ultimately restrained. They left laughing while I was left in tears, regretting my life choices. I shouldn't have married such a man, I thought. realizing it was too late for regrets, but not too late for action. I need to find a good divorce lawyer. That night, Liam didn't come home. The next day at work, he approached me with a smug look. "Yesterday was a blast. Eating on someone else's dime is the best. Thanks for the treat," he said, handing me the receipt. It was from an upscale barbecue restaurant totaling $2,500, and there were also receipts from luxurious bars that added up to an unbelievable $8,000. I wanted to confront him right there, but the office was bustling with employees arriving for the day. So I held my tongue. On my way home, I checked the bank transactions and was shocked to see a total of $12,000 withdrawn. When I confronted Liam at home, I demanded, "Liam, what were you thinking? Spending $12,000 on fancy barbecue and luxurious bars? It's my money." It was money I had saved from before I was married, and just as I arrived home, Liam started complaining. "That money from your single days? Don't know, don't care. Can't do anything about it now since I've already spent it," he casually dismissed before locking himself in the bathroom. That was the last straw. Over the weekend, I decided to consult with a divorce attorney. Since that day, several weeks had passed, and my divorce preparations were moving forward smoothly. Meanwhile, Liam's behavior became increasingly suspicious. He often came home late and rushed out early on his days off. I even considered hiring a private investigator to keep tabs on him. One day, I received an unexpected call from Henry, my sister-in-law Margaret's husband. "Hello, is this Ashley's number?" "Yes, Henry." "It's rare to hear from you," I replied, puzzled. "Yeah, it's been a while. Anyway, is my wife there? Margaret?" "No, she's not here," I informed him. "I see. She's been coming home late and leaving without telling me on weekends. She said she was at Liam's place when I asked her yesterday." "That's odd. Liam's been acting similarly. Maybe they're going somewhere together. Honestly, it's none of my business anymore, so I don't care," I confessed. "Oh, and Henry, there's something I need to tell you too. Can you hear me out? None of your business anymore? What do you mean?" he asked, sounding concerned. I then told him everything that had transpired, the money I lent Margaret and the subsequent events. Upon hearing this, Henry sighed deeply. "Is that so? I'm sorry to hear about my wife. To be honest, I've been at my breaking point and considered getting a divorce, but I just couldn't take action." "Henry, you should use the evidence I've gathered. Maybe you should consider a divorce too. It's not fair for you to be stuck in this situation. Let's give those selfish siblings a taste of their own medicine." "Yeah, let's work together on this," he agreed. "By the way, I think Margaret and the others might be planning a trip." He mentioned that she had urged him to take a long vacation, and there were travel brochures on my vanity, I added. Curious, I decided to look inside a shelf that Liam had always told me not to touch. Sure enough, I found more travel brochures and club cards. It all started to make sense. "Henry, I think they might be planning a trip. I found some brochures. I've got an idea," I shared excitedly. As I explained my plan, Henry laughed and agreed to go along with it. We were both ready to turn the tables on our manipulative spouses. After deciding to collaborate, Henry and I continued our communication through texts and ended our phone call. I sent him several pieces of potential evidence that might be useful for his divorce case. Over the next couple of weeks, we meticulously plotted our next moves. 3 weeks later, early one morning, Liam left the house, a departure I was aware of because Henry had informed me the day before. A few hours into his outing, Liam called, sounding triumphant. "I'm going to have a blast using your card with my sis and friends," he boasted. His late nights and secretive calls with Margaret had already tipped me off that something was amiss. "Oh, really? What do you mean by that?" I played along, feigning ignorance. "Seriously, you didn't notice? We planned this trip ages ago. Henry was just our backup in case something went wrong. We thought you were getting too arrogant and decided it was time to teach you a lesson. Now you can't stand up to us anymore," he jeered. I kept my cool, replying, "I don't have to tolerate this any longer. I've been patient for so long. A little payback isn't too much to ask for. Feeling detached and void of emotion, I questioned him further. Liam, what did you say earlier about using my debit card? I have my card in my wallet, though. What are you talking about? Here it is. Wait, what the heck is this? There was confusion in his voice. You just noticed? A bit slow, huh? Didn't you take my old gym membership card from the fitness club I used to go to? It's the same color and same stiffness, I pointed out calmly. Oh my God, it does say fitness club, but I swear when I checked it looked like a debit card. Are you sure you didn't just mix them up? Liam was flustered. Hey, I heard everything because you're on speaker. Henry chimed in, equally confused. What's going on? Liam brought a fitness membership card. I'm sure I saw my debit card. Ah, so it was a scheme by Margaret and Liam, huh? I'm so disappointed, I revealed, feigning dismay. Last night I switched the debit card with the membership card. Seems like you didn't check this morning and just went with it. What, dude? What the heck are you playing at? Liam's voice crackled with frustration. No, I should be the one asking that, I retorted. Tough break, huh? Don't get too cocky just because you're my stepsister. Got it? You'll remember this when you get back. I've got gifts waiting for both of you when you come back. You trying to bribe us? I won't accept anything but cash, Liam shot back. We'll see about that. Look forward to it, I replied, dismissing his demands. That's beside the point. What should we do now? Oh, Ashley, can you send me some money? Liam's plea was desperate. I hung up the phone, having no desire to entertain any more of his nonsense. After Liam's manipulative message saying, you better send it, okay? Or worst case scenario, we still have Henry here, you know, I simply replied with, is that so? And went back to sleep. However, my rest was short-lived. I was jolted awake in the afternoon by the incessant ringing of my phone, and the screen lit up with a staggering number of missed calls and messages. First, I dialed my brother-in-law, and then I took Liam's call. Hey, finally, send the money ASAP, please. It's so cold I think I'm going to freeze. They were in Alaska, and considering it was February, you can imagine just how freezing it must have been. Seems like my plan worked, I mused aloud. Really? You said Henry would help, right? Or is he not there? Liam's voice held a note of desperation. What? You know something? Anyway, it's freezing and Henry's not here, he continued, sounding bewildered. Should I clue you in? Since you and Margaret teamed up, Henry and I did too. Simple, right? Now, do you get why I entertained you guys for so long on that first call? To buy time? And Henry? He hopped on another plane and is coming back here, I explained, satisfaction tinting my tone. What's your deal with my husband, huh? Don't tell me you're wrong. We teamed up to get back to you. Now find your way back. See you. With that, I hung up. Henry should be arriving here soon. I decided to call my lawyer. We had our final meeting regarding the divorce before Liam and the others would return. Why did I gather everyone here? I pondered aloud, knowing that Liam and his group would surely confront me upon their return. A few hours later, as soon as Liam and his group returned, they started yelling, Ashley, hey, what the hell? What were you thinking? Be prepared to move out, okay? Henry's with you, isn't he? Why did you even come back first? Unbelievable. You okay with me leaving you? Apologize. Shut it! Sit down! Henry, unusually assertive, shouted, stunning Liam and his companion into silence. The lawyer promptly handed out his business cards to both of them. They looked dumbfounded as they stared at the cards. Well, here's a gift from us, Henry and I said, handing them a stack of papers. As they read through them, their faces turned pale. Wait a minute, this mentions property division. You're not saying it's about divorce, are you? Liam stammered in disbelief in his voice. It's written online, too. It's a divorce. And what did I do? Divorce has got to be a joke, right? Yeah, right. Henry scoffed. Let's head home. I'll go first, I declared, holding a stack of papers. I've been recording your outbursts, Liam, even that call from your vacation. You don't even understand what you've done. I can't continue this way with you. Are you sure about this? Liam asked, disbelief etching his voice. I said it, didn't I? I'm demanding half of the down payment from our house purchase, the rest of the mortgage, and repayment for the savings you squandered from my single days. I turned to Margaret, who was attempting to interject. And Margaret, you spent the money you borrowed from me and also dipped into my savings with Liam. You're going to repay that. No, wait, Liam, didn't you buy this house? And I never borrowed or used any of it. Margaret protested, her voice rising in panic. Please go through everything, I insisted calmly, gesturing towards the documents. There's a promissory note in there for the amount you've borrowed. No way. I don't know anything about this. If there's no proof, Margaret's voice trailed off as she grabbed a document, tearing it into pieces and tossing them aside. Simultaneously, Liam stomped on the voice recorder, smashing it under his foot. First of all, Liam, even if you destroy that recorder, there's still data on my computer. And Margaret, that wasn't the original document, I said, shaking my head at their rash actions. What the hell are you two doing? Liam blurted out, his frustration evident. Oops, indeed. You two don't think things through, I retorted. Margaret, I have a claim against you too. You spent all the savings and got cozy with that guy at the bar. Both of them were visibly shaken, tears forming as the reality of their situation dawned on them. I detailed the claims. Liam, you owe a total of $142,000, $10,000 for emotional damages, $120,000 for the down payment on the house, and $12,000 for miscellaneous expenses. There's also an upcoming loan repayment of $3,000. To Margaret, it amounts to $40,000, $10,000 for miscellaneous expenses, and $30,000 for a loan she acknowledged with a promissory note. Henry's claims against Margaret amount to $160,000, $40,000 for emotional damages, and $120,000 for miscellaneous expenses, without any division of assets like condos. I was confident they wouldn't sue, as the attorney cleverly added, if you sue, you're going to lose for sure. No one will represent you, and it'll just cost you more. Work hard on your repayments. With the settlement clear, I grabbed my packed belongings and left the house. Word had spread at my office, and Liam was transferred to another branch shortly after. Only a few weeks later, I received a message from Liam. Ashley, I want to see you. I never thought life without you would be this lonely. Can we give it another shot? You can work as much as you want. It's not going to happen. Goodbye, I responded firmly. Then a message from Margaret appeared. Ashley, it's Margaret. I think you should reconsider things with my brother. Why don't we live together? Maybe there's been some misunderstanding between us. I knew then that nothing had truly changed. Their actions spoke louder than any words could, and my decision to leave was justified. I firmly told Margaret, I believe things will be better if we go our separate ways. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry, goodbye. Despite their pleas, I ignored them and blocked their contacts to move on. Henry did the same after receiving a similar call from them. Sometime later, while passing my old house in a taxi, I noticed it was up for sale. The financial settlements had been made in one go, and since I'd cut off all communication, I had no insight into how they were managing without the assets they once took for granted. As for me, life moved forward in positive strides. I relocated and purchased a condo, embracing a fresh start. Work has been fulfilling too. My boss recently informed me that I've been promoted to regional director, a position I've always aspired to. Additionally, I've started spending time with Henry outside of work. Despite the age difference, we have a lot in common, and our conversations are effortless and engaging. There's a newfound ease in my life now, and things with Henry just feel right. Since the divorce, life has genuinely been looking up. I'm relieved I decided to leave, as it opened new doors and brought unexpected opportunities. As for what developed between me and Henry subsequently, that's a tale for another time.